Good morning. Welcome to Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. I know it's been a little while since I made a forecast video. Tyler and I have been jamming every day, trying to get the band going again, trying to get hot, trying to get picking, trying to get rocking. That's what we've been doing here on the channel. You can see some of our work has been uploaded to the YouTube if you like to see it. Anyways, dreary. It rained a lot yesterday. It was endless. Wow, just where's the summer had us wondering, but it's out there somewhere still. It may warm up a little bit this week in BC. We got thunderstorm threat returning. Nice day on Saturday. That's why I didn't say too much yesterday. It's like, wow, Saturday's going to be nice. Sunday, though, we got some thunderstorm action on Sunday to talk about. So let's get on with the show, okay? Let's go. There it is.
This is bad news. My God. Falling out right now. Anything could happen. Get on! Wow.
I'll watch the video later.
You are going to water.
They dry mopping this. Okay, welcome to the show. If you wouldn't mind hitting like, share, subscribe, and telling a friend that Caribou Weather Dude is back here again, I would very much appreciate that. Tomorrow's my 5 years of sobriety anniversary. If you want to hit the thanks button there and send a little tip my way. I've been struggling to keep my head above water, but thanks to people like Judy and William nearby. Had some people come stop by, drop off a few things, plus a friend of mine from Fort Fraser stopped by, and there's a couple care packages, a couple donations. You're helping me survive right now. It's been raining, and all of us contract wildland firefighters are going, well, is this the end of my career? It's starting to feel like it. I'm getting old, and if I have too many dead seasons like I'm having here, I don't know if I can justify being a firefighter next year. And that's the danger of a rainy season, is talent walks. Anyways, let's start with a little bit of an overview at what's going to happen there. Sunday. The strongest thunderstorms are probably going to be in southern British Columbia. And it's got the Caribou included in that. I have a feeling it's going to be southern more where it's going to happen, where it's going to kick off. But I think anywhere in this region you could see some thunderstorms. I think that the C region will probably extend a little further south. But hey, I hope I'm wrong, because I would love to see rock and thunderstorms here. Down in that A area, you might even get wind gusts up to 90 kilometers an hour, damaging winds, and small hail there. Just the tiny, less than a centimeter most likely. So that's probably where our strongest storms are going to be. Whitehorse again in the lightning. I mean, anybody who doesn't believe in climate change at this point is obviously just lying to themselves and everybody else, and is a zealot of some kind of, engaging in religious and fantastical, mystical thinking about things that aren't real. I've watched in my lifetime. You used to be a rare event to see a thunderstorm up in some of these parts, and now it's been a daily occurrence, especially this year. But over the last 3-4 years, we've been seeing it starting to pick up, and like more and more thunderstorms up there. So that concerns me, that our fire season reality for the north is that there's going to be a lot of burning in the years ahead. Go have a look at the prairies right now. This is for Sunday as well. But again, today there's only a slight risk of non-severe thunderstorms to the north there. We can go have a peek right here and go check it out. There it is. Non-severe. Well, about a 2-centimeter hail. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some of those could get stronger. Maybe pay attention to the tall, big, nasty ones. You might see the odd, errant, strong thunderstorm in the northern prairies today. Like, I think whenever you're getting up 2 centimeters of hail, you're flirting with a storm that's very capable of being severe. In fact, 2-centimeter hail is almost itself a threshold for severe thunderstorms as far as I'm concerned. Okay, let's have a quick look at Canada A on the bad news battle board. Some of this nice heat that we'd like to see more of in BC is happening until Monday in southern Alberta. Temperatures rising into the low 30s will begin today, with overnight lows the next couple nights near 15 degrees Celsius. Like I say, cooler temperatures will come on Monday. Residents and visitors to the warned area are advised to take off all their clothes and bathe naked and pour freezing cold water all over themselves and slap themselves silly Anyways, that's not what it said. Air quality warnings. So we had in Regina yesterday, the Calgary Stampeders were in town to play against the Rough Riders. Limit time outdoors, reschedule or cancel outdoor sports activities and events. So wildfire smoke there, and the game was postponed because the air quality is just so bad up there. So the fires are really torching off right now. I know I keep saying it's time to make a video that's specific about it, but then we talked about it for like half an hour on the podcast on Thursday night, and nobody watches the podcast. So it's like, man, I am actually giving you the information. It's just that if people don't watch it, then what can I do? I'm not going to repeat myself just because other people aren't watching my programming. That's how it is. So heat warning in northern Ontario. Look at that. Up in Moosonee, Ontario, and a heat warning. That doesn't make much sense. In northern Quebec as well, that heat warning doesn't make much sense. 28 degrees up there. Highs exceeding maybe coming to 16 degrees overnight, right? So central Ontario and Quebec there, and maybe even reaching into northern Ontario. Looks like we got the severe thunderstorm watch today where a tornado is possible. Severe wind gusts up to 110 kilometers an hour. So gross. And then southern Ontario, heat. Lots of heat. And then over in Newfoundland and Labrador, they got a heat warning there too, which you get up to 33 degrees. And here's what they're looking at in Ontario today. That area, Huntsville, up towards Sudbury, could see a tornado in there. 90 to 110 kilometer hour winds, 30 to 50 mils in the rain downpours, and you could see some of that go up the Bruce Peninsula. Light minor storms by comparison, non-severe storms. Same with by the Ottawa area and maybe surrounding as well. This warned area, but moderate risk today for severe thunderstorms, risk of a tornado in Ontario. If you want more information on that, though, I'd say go to Instant Weather Ontario. Adam Skinner, who's often involved in our show in some ways, often in the background. He is the Ontario expert around these parts. And here's my last yap before we get back to talking BC thunderstorms for Sunday. So Manitoba had a number of funnel clouds reported yesterday. Justin Ortel from Weather Center Manitoba managed to take a photo where he had more than one funnel cloud in the photo. That was pretty cool. So we had at Chater at 1:33 p.m., 2:45 p.m. at Brookdale. Second one at Hallborough at 3 p.m. and 3:55, one at Fairview there. So thunderstorms have now kind of weakened. That's the end of that. Newfoundland and Labrador setting some new temperature records. Terra Nova even getting up to 31 degrees. Pretty hot up there. And as well, some on the mainland as well. Time for our look at the jet stream. And as you can see, jet stream going right across southern BC through a lot of this week. And that puts us still on the north side of it. So there's a breaking down later in the week. Boom, that might let some heat in. And I'm not saying it's going to be cold, but when you look at this, it doesn't seem like a real aberration or alteration from what we've been seeing sort of as a pattern in general, which is unsettled weather being shoveled into the province. So for at least a bunch of days, we're seeing that. And that's what's going to work with the heat to create the instability that make thunderstorms not just Sunday, but a number of rounds of thunderstorms to start the work week. And I think tomorrow we'll have a better look at the full work week ahead. But this gives us a bit of a clue that, there was talk that they would get really, really hot, and maybe it will still. I mean, the coastal temperatures look to be bumping up a little bit, but this is basically the atmospheric river has been targeting BC coast, and it's going to be hitting up to us for the next couple of days. We'll have a look at her right now. We're in the summer of no summer. That's what I've called it already, and what it effectively appears to be so far. Luckily, it looks like it'll be a little nicer, a little warmer this week. I mean, there are some pretty cold nights here. Well, let's have a look at Caribou Weather Dude Weather Station here, provided by Diggie's Diner in Wells, BC. Great place to come have lunch, right? Currently, temperature is at 14 degrees here in the morning, and just having a look at daily mode. Well, daily mode, who cares? Let's go to weekly and monthly mode and have a look at where we've been going so far. So the warmest temperature we saw in Wells last week was 21.7. The lowest was 4.4 Celsius, so that's not as cold as maybe I thought we got. Still, it's not great. It's not great. We look at how much precipitation. We had one day with 22 mils. Yeah, a lot of rain in there. Our heaviest day of 22 mils. So, well, I'll have a look here. Wind speed, wind direction, total precipitation. Okay, look at this. Total precipitation. Couple days where it really rained a couple days. Let's go back and look at the last month. We'll go to monthly mode here, have a peek, just to give us an idea. The warmest we've seen so far in July here has only been 27.5, which isn't, it's not like, that's not bad for us. We've had 25 mils of rain, look at that. Our low temperature this month, 0.0 Celsius. It paints a picture where it's not been excessively warm here in the mountains yet at all. Quite the opposite. It sucks. I hate it. Okay, here we're at atmospheric river hitting the coast. Moving on down the coast, spreading weather inside. Some of these will become thunderstorms. Some of it will just be shitty weather in the Caribou Mountains again for me and for other people out there. Watch that head on south, that energy. The risk of pop-up thunderstorms, I think, on that Sunday time period is probably there, even though maybe the risk of higher rainfall totals may be a little bit to the north of you. You can see some of these little bubbles in there. Those are probably thunderstorms, right? So just to give you that bit of an impression, watch that come on down. Heavy rain into southern British Columbia by Tuesday. That should help make a new low in Alberta side like it tends to do. Lots of fun here. Lots of fun. Lots of wet, crappy fun. Here you go again. More rain later in the week, so says. This is a Canadian model, not the Gives False Snow model, GFS model. Temperatures. You're nearing 30 down by the border today. Here we go, Saturday. Boom, into Sunday now. How warm does Sunday get? Again, nearing 30 at the border, 29s. If you get to Prince George area, looks like you're in high teens or low 20s. Looks like low 20s in the Peace. And pretty cold, pretty crappy in northern BC where the energy from that atmospheric river will be slotting on in. So are we going to see excessively warm weather this week? Looks like a little bit by the U.S. border. There's some 35s on the U.S. side there. But still, we're looking at still 20s in BC to start the work week, up in the Prince George region, I should say. That looks a little warmer across the board as you get into the week, and you can see that even the coastal section. So we do see a trend that's looking like northern coast, Vancouver Island. They're going to see temperatures bump up finally for a change in the wake of this atmospheric river. Of course, the atmospheric river is going to pull warm air up from the south behind it, so that's great news. And then we come into Wednesday. Again, these aren't shocking values, though. Maybe high 20s by the U.S. border. Looking a little warmer in the interior for us here by then. But these aren't shocking values. It's not a heat wave or anything like that, I don't think. No, I wouldn't call it that. Maybe a little bit of nicer weather, but it's the thunderstorms this week. It's the thunderstorms that's going to kind of be the wild card. So we won't get too deep into all that. Looking at next week's weather, we'll be talking about that, I think, on the show tomorrow. Here's the atmospheric river, as you can see, slotting in. There's the upper level low in the Gulf of Alaska, like there just keeps being again and again. Slamming Haida this morning, slamming up the north coast into the Alaska Panhandle. Apparently it's a Category 3 atmospheric river, but I don't know about that. Mostly beneficial is what Category 3 generally is called. Mostly beneficial, could have some harmful effects. I think occasionally seeing slides and things like that in the mountains is definitely one of the things we're probably looking at, but the rainfall totals aren't off the charts or anything, right? So just because it's an atmospheric river doesn't mean it's some crazy thing necessarily. I think when you're in Category 4 and 5 atmospheric river, it was a definite 5, the one that came to BC in 2021 that people will always remember. And you look at this one, it doesn't even seem to make it all the way across the Pacific Ocean before it gets cut off. But you can see all this crazy moisture down by the Philippines, Japan, Okinawa, whatnot. Lots of, and of course the Marshalls and whatnot. Lots of thunderstorms, lots of activity, big strong low there. Lots of energy to work with. And it's been quite warm in the ocean down there. There's been a warm, an ocean anomaly down here that's been very, very, very hot. So that, could be a clue for our future weather in terms of what could come out of the Pacific towards us. Nonetheless, we're still in the summer of no summer despite some of these better values this week. So we're going to hit play on tape and notice that most of southern BC is having a great day today. A little bit of thunderstorm risk up in the north. We're not going to look at Ontario even though we mentioned it. Like I said, make sure you look at Adam Skinner and Instant Weather Ontario. That low there. Pounding Haida Gwaii, heavy rain in Haida Gwaii, heavy rain in the north coast there. Prince Rupert looks like you're going to get a good drowning later this afternoon. Enjoy that. No fire danger at all for the north. This whole section anywhere west of the Rocky Mountains up north has been taking so much rain this year that their indices are completely low. So in general, we've not had a lot of fire activity in BC over the last month or so. Some of it's been in the Peace. Even the Peace has been taking a fair bit of rain. So Sunday, 1 a.m., see some of that rainfall. Again, more rain into the Caribou Mountains, making its way on south. I'm a little concerned that this will prime the area, put some moisture down so if the heat can get up that day and start cooking things, that you're going to see that moisture be fuel for thunderstorms that might pop up on Sunday. So a little bit of thunderstorm threat there. Seems like the southern BC will go off first, where we're not looking at a lot of rain in some of those thunderstorm cells, more isolated rain. You can just sort of see by how the graphic is drawn that these guys along the south are not rain heavy. So they're fire concern, thunderstorms. It is dry in some areas. It's hard to believe if you live here where, I don't know, we haven't seen the sun in like a million years now. But if you go further north here, you can see the lightning is embedded with inside these rain, right? So there's some, more rain with some thunderstorms possibly in them is what you're looking at there. So our strongest chance of strong thunderstorms, it appears to be in southern BC. You can see where the convective available potential energy is. Bam! Areas like around Vernon. We'll switch to the 2D map now just so you can get a better look in close at everybody. Areas around Vernon, Salmon Arm, some of the mountains around Revelstoke, maybe down around Invermere. And we have some higher Cape values in the Prairies as well, where we expect to see some of these areas turn into thunderstorms for sure. A bit of a line of thunderstorms, really. It's not your typical line, but it's a line of development still. Saskatchewan, a little bit in eastern Alberta. Western Alberta, quite active areas around Calgary. It wouldn't be Stampede if you didn't have thunderstorms like every friggin' day. And then southern BC on the whole, much larger. Do we see thunderstorms in the Caribou? They don't seem too stoked on it on this modeling. If we look at the Canadian model HRDPS, do we see something that might indicate a little bit different? Look at some of that heavy rain by hitting Alberta, heavy rain on the foothills, heavy rain in southern Alberta, heavy rain and some of those thunderstorms. That is a good signal that there's a thunderstorm here that's dropping a lot of rain that's moving towards the east, right? And you can see some of those areas in the Thompson, whatnot, could have some thunderstorms. Again, we don't really get a good idea on, they don't have like a thunderstorm icon or moniker or whatever on here, so that makes it a little bit harder to use the Canadian model and decide. You have to read between the lines. But if you look at what the Cape Index is saying, Cape Index in the Canadian model is very high down around Lethbridge especially. That's crazy, 2,600 joules per kilogram in there, 27. So that's off the charts. Southern BC has some areas like that as well. Do we see thunderstorms in the Caribou? They don't seem to think there's a lot of Cape value here, right? You go down near Cranbrook, really strong. So can we see a severe thunderstorm in the Cranbrook area on Sunday? Yeah, I think that's possible, especially if you look up towards Creston. I think Creston would be an area that has a good chance of severe. Up into the Nelson area, Highway 6 maybe, strong thunderstorms there. I see those warm temperatures, 35s, 30, 32. Canadian model has everything a little bit warmer down south there, although we're only cooking at 18 and whatnot. There is some blobs of Cape value, so we could see the odd thunderstorm that does pop up and is pretty strong. And even in the Peace and up north, seems like that is there. To me, though, this southeast corner of BC, that's where the ultimate madness is going to be. Look at that. Osoyoos hitting 36, Trail hitting 36. So some warmth down there on Sunday. And yeah, we need it. We'll be back to look at Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Some more. Hit like, share, subscribe. Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. Try my best for everybody here. Sorry for being a little quiet the last few days, but we're just trying to jam, and get our Outlaw Country Music Show as hot as can friggin' possibly be. Okay, we'll talk to you next time, friends. Thanks for all the support. Love you all very much. We'll see you soon. Bye now.